yo, man, we're alive. We have options. We can, try to put our best foot forward and just kind of come together. Come together as best we can. And at least in our lifetime and trying to put forward for our future. Stuff to talk about tonight, I think. From sports, from where we are as I guess a country. Try not to get too political, but I mean it's hard not to at this point, with everything coming to an end. And in my opinion, a surprisingly quick defeat. I didn't think it was going to be that quick. Donald Trump has won the nomination as president-elect and will be the next president of the United States. Kamala Harris has come out and conceded victory, looking to do a peaceful transition and honoring all the greats before her, along with Biden, as well as transfer of power goes to Donald Trump and his cabinet. Bro, I know you took this one tough on the chin, just like a lot of people out there as well. Um, Anything that really from this whole process, right? Um, and the aftermath, I have something that I think kind of surprised me. But what surprised you most? After the polls kind of came out and we saw some of the numbers and the logistics, what do you think was the most surprising thing that you saw? Was like, wow, like that was kind of crazy. Like, that kind of came back with like, man, I didn't see that. Or you thought it was going to go this way, but it went completely the opposite way.
Um, yeah. I mean, before I answer the question, salute to Trump and Trump's campaign. They had a strategy, um, you know, that's been going back for damn near what 8 years now. Um, and they stuck to their plan, and he was who he was, and he was able to grasp those that base and able to kind of sit on that base and to rely on that base. And that base has been, heating up and heating up and heating up. And this is where we are now. So salute to him and his campaign for doing a good job. Obviously, I was not expecting this result, especially like you said, almost upside down type of result. But also salute to Kamala Harris for, um, you know, for doing the best she could do with the limited time that she had as far as campaigning. This is not a thing that you just can arguably just wake up and just say, hey, 90 days is enough to really get to know people or have people get to know you, which I think in ways we have talked about in numerous conversations up to this date that, some things you just didn't know enough of for Kamala Harris. And I think the country didn't really know who Kamala Harris is. And besides her attachment to the Biden presidency. And I think that was something that hurt her in the long run.
Yeah, I
Um,
would agree.
you gave another person had 2 years to start plugging and printing his space, almost coming back from the dead. Um, and President Joe Biden, um, I thought the biggest mistake was not. I would say now hindsight was not to say he was going to run again, right? Because that slowed the process down for us to get a candidate that could actually stand up to Donald Trump and the Republican movement. So, what surprised me, back to your question, what surprised me, I was very surprised and disappointed more about the women voting, and I thought that was I thought, and I still don't understand it, that a party that is against women's bodily autonomy can get people's votes. But what I realize is that everybody's different, and some people care about certain things, and some people don't care about other people. I've learned that more today. I think I've learned that more that people just don't care about other people. And what I'm saying by that is that there's women out there, millions of women out there that don't have no issues, don't have no pregnancy issues,
Right.
or any type of health issues. So this doesn't directly affect them. So it's easy for them to kind of push some things away because of something else they may think it weighs a little bit more. But there are women that may have some issues and health issues that need this opportunity for some type of, uh,
I say emergency or something.
emergency that is now
Yeah.
being given to the the government to give you a yay or nay. And that is where I was surprised that the women turned out for Donald Trump through all the stuff that he's talked about, through all the, him saying and being the spearhead of Roe versus Wade being scaled back and overturned. It's amazing to me that that we had that type of turn with women, and I think that was my biggest surprise because I thought the women was going to carry the Democratic Party into victory yesterday.
Yeah, I would completely agree. That's kind of where I was going to head at as well. I thought also too as well. It seemed like from the polls in our back end conversations that Hispanic men showed out too, and big, a big shift from what it was for Biden versus Harris. And you just kind of look back at that campaign, and they do enough to capture that, right? Did they do enough to capture, the Hispanic population in the country? And when you look at it now from a minority and percentage standpoint, Hispanic is a pretty large population of the country, especially compared to other minority groups. But with that being said, I know you've talked about it yourself, how you kind of feeling today, and a lot of those folks who are feeling like that today. I do want to say one thing. I was kind of thinking about how I wanted to say this, how I kind of wanted to sum it up, because I think not only does it talk to all people, but it talks to specifically people that look like me and you and our black folks out there, right? I'm 41 years old. Um, you know, we're still building, like we're still building things now. Like we're still actively trying to create the world that we want in this moment. Reclaiming our agency with every step. I think we need to rediscover our imagination, and those same imaginations that systems of the past have tried to strip us off permanently. Whether from others, devious methods, or however you want to say it. um, you know, I think we've lost that a little bit along the way. We're so quick to look at each other and hate each other and say this and that about each other and get nasty with each other. I saw a quote from a friend who had wrote something, and he said, Gil Scott once said that once the light switches on, you can't turn it off. You know what I mean? And once you have that imagination and have that drive, like you can't turn that off. Like it's always on. You might feel psychologically and physiologically effects of different decisions, but your wellness is tied to the choices of anything. And you got to feel that deep within inside. And I don't know where that comes from, right? Is that ancestral? Is that ancestrals of our mothers and our women, men having some type of female intuition, that's been passed down, that binds us all. So, at least for me, I would think that um, listening to everything that's kind of happened, I think that the one thing I kind of take from all this is that, man, we're alive. We have options. We can, try to put our best foot forward and just kind of come together. I mean, come together as best we can, and at least in our lifetime, and trying to put forward for our future. So I think glass half full, glass half empty, however you want to see it. I think the future can be bright. You know what I mean? I really do. So, that's really just wanted to say that because I know people, I've seen a lot of things on my posts, people crying, people, really like physically feel sick, and understandably so, and your passion for, what you believe in. But, I mean,
Yeah, I think.
that don't mean we don't stop building. That don't
Mhm.
mean we stop moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like the work doesn't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just because of that. I understand it could look like a huge mountain in our way, possibly however you see fit and however you believe. But regardless of what side you're on, it ain't like it's going to keep churning. Hopefully, it churns in the right direction. Hopefully, it turns in the right direction for everybody that for all of us, especially people that look like us. But don't give up hope. Don't stop. Keep fighting. Keep your imagination. Keep your creativity. And we've been doing this a long time. When I say we, I mean people that look like us. Black people have been doing this a long time with no bootstraps, with no boots. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? we'll get through the fire if you feel like you are going through that fire. So, I mean, just wanted to add that political talk a little bit for my folks out there feeling like, like I tell you, man, some cats feel like life is over, bro. Like it's, what I mean, like it's a wrap. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I think just brief. I know you want to move on to the next subject. I think for obviously people that look like us and others and other communities, right? I think it's just what happens is, when you run a campaign on negativity amongst other people, you put fear to them when now it's time to figure out is everything that you said you wanted to do, is it going to happen? So, that's the rhetoric that was coming from the Trump campaign. It was pointing fingers and blames of a lot of people that don't look like him, and a lot of people that was in the crowd that don't look like him. And so people wake up today that don't look like him are concerned, like myself and a lot of the women that surround me that are concerned because they don't know what's around the corner. And I think they have the right to feel that way. And we're not even talking about people that are in the other category as far as the immigrants and people that are here, that they are trying to do, and get rid of, and what did their life look like in the next few months. So people are scared because of the rhetoric that was been spewed over the past 2 years from the Trump campaign, and they have every right to be. And I think that's why it's more disappointing because it seems like morality has left, and people are for themselves. And at the end of the day, this is where we are. So we will find out. I just, those that's out there, stand on what you're going to stand on and respect to that.
yeah, yeah. Feel you on that.